All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cottage Witch. I am super excited to get into today's episode and for what we have planned. I am extremely tired of having to deal with all of these barrels and sorting things out. Inventory management and storage is one of the things of Minecraft that just is the worst. It really is. So what we're going to be getting into is a little bit of refined storage. And if you guys aren't familiar with refined storage or what it does, it's basically like a computer and you store all of your blocks, all of your items onto a hard disk. So we're going to be making the computer and making some storage disks so that we can hold all of our items, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, in order to do that, there's going to be a lot of crafting that we have to do to make the runic processors. And in order to make the runic processor, we're going to need smoky quartz. And I don't have a lot of nether quartz yet. So we're going to go ahead, jump into the nether, and I'll go ahead and put that in right now as a time lapse and kind of talk over this. But we need to get a lot of this quartz. Now, in addition to quartz, I haven't went netherite mining yet, so we're going to go ahead, try and get a bunch of netherite so that we can start upgrading our gear as well. I figured kill two birds with one stone. Now, when I was down there at the very start, I was just mining normally, and then I remembered, wait, there is a accessory that we can get that'll increase our mining speed, but also there's another one that'll give us rare gems and rare things when we mine just standard blocks. And I put that on maybe after 5 or 10 minutes down in the nether, and oh my goodness, were we getting a lot of ancient debris. So once we wrap up, I'm going to show you guys what we ended up getting, and we ended up getting a good bit. All right, so here's what we ended up getting. As you see, we got a bunch of quartz, we got a bunch of gold, and we got a fair amount of ancient debris as well as netherite scraps. We actually got more netherite scraps than we did ancient debris, and that just shows you how powerful that lucky stone is. So definitely, if you guys are gonna go mining for netherrack, get the lucky stone. It'll make it so much easier. Also, I'm pretty sure I said netherrack. If you're going to go mining for ancient debris, get the ancient stone. All right, so let's go ahead, hop back into the overworld, and we're going to get started crafting. I went ahead and jumped ahead a little bit and took all of the quartz, put it into the furnace so we can smelt it, and I have around 700 smoky quartz. I think this will be plenty enough for us. I'm not too sure if it will. We'll see. And, you know, I didn't do the math. Now, another thing that we're going to need a bunch of in order to get the processors is going to be the runic binding. And if we look at the recipe for runic binding, we need to get slime balls and 2 pieces of string, and we'll get 8, which is a good amount. But we don't have much slime. The only slime we have ever gotten is the 2 slime blocks in the 1 dungeon. So what we're going to end up doing is making a gateway pearl and summon a bunch of slime. So if you guys aren't familiar with the gateways, in order to go ahead and craft a small slime gate pearl, which is from Gateways of Eternity, all you need to do is combine 4 slimes with an ender pearl and you get the pearl gate. So let's go ahead, head on up and go on out there and fight a bunch of slimes. Now, I do have my sword and it has looting 3 on it, and I forgot back, I don't know, episode 1 or 2, we ended up getting lucky and finding a ancient tome, which right here increases our looting to a maximum of 4. And I want to throw that on our sword real quick, just so that we now have looting 4. I mean, I'm not going to complain about more looting when we're killing things, especially now that we need to go kill a bunch of slimes. So let's find a nice flat area. If we look on our map, there's some areas up here. I think this was probably going to be a good little area. So let's head over here. And I'm going to put this down and you'll see basically what the gate pearl does. The gist of it is that there are going to be 5 waves, and if we hover over this, we can hold shift and see And the very first wave has 2 slimes. And once we kill the 2 slimes, we'll get 3 extra loot rolls. As we look at wave 2, there's more, but these are buffed slimes. They have extra health, extra armor, etc. And as we continue going down to the later waves, they start to get more slimes and even more buffs, but the rewards are even greater. All right, so I think this is probably a good enough spot right over here. Not a hole I can fall into now. So let's go ahead, throw it down right here and fight some slimes. That's what, almost 9 stacks. That's fantastic. If we need more slimes, this is the way to do it. All right, let's go back home and put these in here, and we're gonna get to crafting here. So I did a little bit of math as to roughly how many we need in order to get one of the 64,000 discs. So the way that the storage component works, your hard drives, is if we do a search for @refined and storage glyph, these are the different storage glyphs. So we have the primal storage glyph, which if we look at the item tag just below it, it's 1K. So this can hold 1,000 items. The next one up can hold 4,000, 16,000, and then 64,000. And we're going to want a bunch of these celestial storage glyphs to give us the most amount of space. Now, I'm not going to start crafting these right away. I'm going to go ahead and start building some of the other components first. And I've saved some of these over here. So in order to get our RS system completely up and running, there are basically just 3 blocks we need. We need the lodestone core, which is the controller. We need a grid, which we're going to want to have the crafting runic console, which is going to be like your monitor, how you can access it. And then the other component that we're going to need is the lithic repository, which is our disk drive. That's going to be where we store all of our hard drives. So let's go ahead and start looking at the lodestone core, figure out what we need. And currently I can tell you we're going to need a lot of this illuminite. So let's go ahead and craft a bunch of this up. In the barrel here, I do have a crafting upgrade, which is going to make our lives so much easier. But let's go ahead and come in here. I can click on this and just click right there. And we can easily craft a bunch up. Now, can I hold shift? I can. And there we go. We have 512. I think that's going to be plenty. I think so. Now I'm probably going to need some more glowstone dust because I think I just used all of our glowstone. All right, what else do we need to craft this? We're going to need to get a starbuncle wheel and then a runic chassis. Now, if I remember right, when I was looking into the quests, once we craft all of the basic materials here, it's going to give us a starbuncle wheel, which is going to be amazing because we don't have to go through the effort of getting a starbuncle, getting it into the wheel, all that. So let's go ahead, craft each of these. We need one of each of the processors, illuminite, and a runic binding. So let's go ahead. I have each of the processors saved. Oh, we need a bunch of runic bindings. Let's just craft up, say, 512 of those. You know, I'm actually going to craft up another 512 because we will need a bunch of them. And we have plenty of slime, plenty of string, so I am perfectly okay doing that. And come over here, let's craft up. You know what? Let's just do all 32. Let's just do 32 of these divine guys right here. This is going to be the highest tier. So that's tier 3. The arcane is going to be your tier 2. We're going to go ahead and do a full stack of those. And I do need to go ahead and grab these to get the quest completion. And I'm going to need one of the runic bindings to get the quest completion too. And then the last one we need is the primal. This is our basic. And there we go. So what does this need? Oh, okay. We need to go ahead and smelt one of each of those. Let me just throw one of each of those in here. It'll get it smelted and pop down here once it's done. And then eventually I'm going to go ahead and smelt the rest of these. Let me go ahead while we're here. I'm going to craft up, say, 2 more stacks of these basic ones, because we are going to need a bunch of those as well when it comes to making the discs. Hopefully these are all done. Let's start putting the other ones in here so that it can start going. But in the meantime, we'll take the 3 of those, complete our quest, and we're going to get that Starbuncle wheel, which is going to be absolutely amazing. It also gives us a raw magnetite, which we are going to need because in order to craft this lodestone, the last 2 items we need, one of them is the lodestone, which is not the same vanilla method. We need some cinnabar, a magnetite, and some chiseled stone. So let's go ahead and make that. And then the last item we need is going to be the runic chassis. I'm pretty sure each of these items will need a chassis. So let's go ahead and just make up 3 of those. Perfect. And we should be able to make this core now. Sweet. The lodestone core, I'm just going to go ahead and put it, you know what, for now I'm going to put it over here. So let's get rid of this guy. So there we go. The lodestone core is basically the CPU. It's the computer. It's the brains of the entire system. It's how everything is connected. But now in order to access the computer, we need our monitor, right? So that's going to be the next thing we need to craft, which is going to be the runic console. We're going to want to have the one that has the crafting grid. So we're going to want the crafting version of it. But before we can do that, we do need to craft the normal runic console. So let's go ahead, get some glass, get the last few things that we need here. We're going to need 2 of the advanced and then 1 construction and 1 destruction. And see, this is going to be the amazing thing about having this console and having the refined storage is I won't have to be like, oh, we need more of this resource. Come down here, go to our storage. Anything that we need to get, it's all going to be accessible from the one system and everything is accessible to us. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so a destruction core. And then we need a construction core. Perfect. And that should be everything we need. Oh wait, we need some glass. That's right. I think I put the glass up here. Glass in there. And we should have everything perfect. Okay. So there's our console. Now let's go ahead and put our console down. And with this, we can see everything in our hard drive, but you'll notice we don't have the crafting table. So let's go ahead, break this real quick. And let's upgrade this. So in order to upgrade this, we need to have a divine and then also a crafting table. And it looks like we just need the crafting table. Did I not have one here? Guess not. All right, we should have some wood. Do I have any planks pre-made? No. Let's just get some spruce wood. Craft that up, and let's just get a few crafting tables. We're probably going to need a couple overall. Okay, so now we can go to the crafting grid, craft that, and success. Okay, so now that we can put that down, open it up, you see that we have the crafting grid here. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so the final thing that we need, we have our computer, we have our monitor, we need the items. We need something to store all of our items into the hard disks. So we need to make the disk drive, and this is what's going to go ahead, hold everything. Looks like we just need a single chest, which I should have some here. Yep, and I had some more crafting tables too. Go ahead and put those over here and craft up the drive. Perfect. Okay, so now we can put our stones right here, which is going to be the hard drives, and we should be functional. So let's go ahead and start making our hard disks. Okay, so we do currently have 11 of these basic ones. So what do we need? Oh, perfect. We can go ahead and craft up a couple of these right now. These are going to be the 1K. And I think what we might do is go ahead and put one of these into a drive. Ooh, we need special glass. Interesting, redstone glass. Okay, let's just craft up a little bit of that real quick, and I'm going to show you guys what this can do once we put the 1K disk into a storage drive. So it has its hard drive enclosure. All we need to do is put the 1K. You can see we have 0 of 1,000. And now we can actually start putting things in here. So, you know, we can move everything over and do the rest of the crafting in here. I think for right now, just because we have like 500 slime, 500 aluminite, I'm going to hold off on that and probably get our very first 64, and then I'll start converting things over, put it in here, and we'll do the rest of the crafting in there. But for right now, we need to, ooh, hold on, keep putting everything, there we go. For right now, we need to get the rest of this smelted up. So I'm going to go ahead and be right back after all this smelts. See you. All right, so we went ahead and doubled the amount of furnaces we have because this was taking a while. We went ahead and got a bunch of these crafted up, and I should have more than I need right now to craft our first 64K disk. So let's go ahead and work through that process. But before we do, we have the 1K disk in here, and I actually want to take this out and use the 1K storage part, and you can just shift click this when it's in your inventory. It'll take the glyph out of the housing and you can reuse that glyph. So let's go ahead, craft up one more of these, and we can see that once we have 3, we can take the 3 1Ks and make a 4K. So then we'll go ahead and make the 4K. And then in order to make the next version up, the 16K, we need 3 of these. So let's go ahead, craft up a bunch of the 1Ks. I think I'm going to do, if I remembering my math correctly, I'm going to do 27 of these. So we already have 3. Let's just go ahead and do 24 more. And this should give us 9 of the 4Ks. Perfect. We can take these, make 3 of the 16Ks, and then the 3 16Ks will come together and make the 64K. And just like that, we now have a single storage disk that can hold 64,000 items. So let's go ahead and take this. All we need to do, hit usage on it, and we can make it into the drive just by putting it together with a casing. So now if we come over here, put this in, we can now hold 64,000 items in our console. So we have, you know, a bunch of different items over here. You know what? Let's just go ahead. I'm going to break a few of these. Get a ton of items at our feet. Absolute ton. Let's come in here and I'm just going to load all of our items up. And just like that, we have a single storage that can hold tons and tons of items. So, you know, we have hundreds of some of these resources all the way down to just, you know, a couple of some others. We come back up here and you can see that we have 3.4 thousand items on our storage disk at the moment. And I can do that to all of our items, which, you know what, let's just go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to break a few of these and just load everything up. Because 64,000, I don't think we have more than 64,000 singular items at this point in time. It is possible that we might have that much stone. So I'm probably not going to do our stone chest, or rather our netherrack chest. If we come up here, I have 7 stacks of 500, so I mean that's already almost 4,000 netherrack. If we look at our stone chest, the cobble deep slate, we have up to 1,500 per stack. We're up to what, 7,000 of those, and yeah. So let's go ahead and come over here. We can look and just verify. I mean, we have 10,000. That's not that much. Let's see, is there any other thing that we can break real quick? I'm not going to break our ores because I'm going to do something different with our ores. Our dirts and stuff, you know what? Let's just go ahead and break that. And let's just get everything in here. You know what? Let's even get our stones. It's fine. Gonna be a lot of items, but we have the room. We have 64,000. That was only 7,000 deep slate, so okay. Most all of that is in. We're up to what? 25,000. All of our items are in here at the moment, or at least the vast majority. Let's get our deep slate, or not our deep slate, our netherrack, and I think that's the majority of all these items except for our ores. We do have a couple. I'm going to keep the create items in here for now. I'm going to keep the Ars Nouveau items in there. We do have our building one, and then our normal items. This is kind of just a trash can, to be honest. I've just sat it up there, but let's get everything else in here. And there's going to be a couple more things I'm going to want to show you with this to make this a little bit easier for us. Okay, so first up, one of the things that I wanted to craft, you can see that in the right hand side here, there are 4 slots. These over here can be used for filters or whitelists. And with that, it's really simple to craft. We just need a filter, and it is going to be the aluminite, some paper, and a couple hoppers. Let me go ahead and make 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what this can do is, let me get one of these items out. You know what? Let's actually use the runic binding, because I think that looks like a pretty cool item. If we just go ahead and right click in the air, all we have to do is put a filter in here and make sure we select mod filter. I'm going to call this refinedstorage. Put that over there. And this is going to be adding a tab. Now, if I go ahead, come up to our console, put this over here, you'll see we now have a tab called refinedstorage. And when we have items in our system and click here, this will only show items that we have filtered. But I'm also going to go ahead and create another one of these for create. And I'm just going to throw all these items in here. I think it would be a good kind of example as to how these work. So I'm going to go ahead and put another create item. Let's see, which one do we want to use? Let's use the cog as the icon. We're going to call this create, make it a mod filter, because we want not just cogs, we want the entire mod. Come over here, and as soon as we put that in, you'll see we have a tab called create, in which we automatically see everything that's already been added from create, and we can just put everything else in here. And as we click on this tab, we can instantly see everything that's create based. We can instantly see everything that's added in via refinedstorage. So these tabs are kind of cool and can help you filter items out. Next up, I have the ores over here, but I wanted to do something different and special with the ores. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and create compacting drawers. And I already have a few of these made up. I've made the framed ones, and I have what I want to color them as, make them look like. So when you make a framed drawer, whether it's compacting, normal drawer, anything of that nature, in order to give it the look you want, it'll tell you exactly right here how to change texture. You need to go ahead, take it, put it in your inventory or in your crafting grid, and dependent on how you have the other items, it'll go ahead and color it the way you want. So with doing it in this manner, I want to have the outside frame to be deep slate, polished deep slate, and then the inside of each drawer should be cut tough. So I'm going to head and make all 9 of those. And the idea was I was going to actually kind of put this into the wall. Okay. And then put these drawers, and they kind of blend because I used the deep slate, and then the tough gives it a nice, you know, contrasting color that we can see, but it also doesn't take it out of the look and feel completely. We may change this up. You know, I like it right now, but I might be on the fence on that. So what the compacting drawer will do is it'll allow us to like take all of our iron, for instance, and when you put your iron in a compacting drawer, it'll automatically compact the items for you. So nuggets will go into ingots and ingots will go into blocks. And I can just put all of the blocks in there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick for the coal. Now, I think, and I'm kind of curious, if I do the tiny lumps of coal, sweet, it will go ahead and do coal. It will go ahead and do the blocks. And with this, if I ever need to get a block of iron, I can just grab a block of iron out and it'll automatically convert any other material we have. So if I wanted, say, 5 blocks of iron, I could take the 5 blocks of iron, or if I wanted 400 nuggets, I could just take those. And then you can see as we take the nuggets, it's lowering the amount of ingots, lowering the amount of blocks, because really it's all just one source of iron and it's distributing it out into the 3 different sizes. So let's go ahead and do this to the rest of all of our storage here, and we'll be back after I get everything sorted out. All right, so we went ahead and got all of our ores loaded up into these compacting drawers, and now if we ever need any ores, they're super accessible and right there in the drawers, and we can get any variant of them that we may need. Now, we need to go ahead and hook these drawers up to our system so that if we ever need to, say, craft a lantern, right? If we needed to craft one of these, we currently don't have the iron nuggets. As you see, we mouse over, it turns red. We don't have them accessible to us. So we need to tell our refined storage system that there's drawers available. And the way we would do that is by setting up an external storage over to it. But before we can do that, we need to go ahead and put down a storage controller, link it up to all of the drawers, just like we did over in our mob farm. So I'm thinking I'm going to put it like right here in the very corner, but this right here needs to go. So we're just going to break the chest, put all these miscellaneous ores that we have into our storage. And then let's go ahead, break this, put down the controller, and start linking things up. So shift right click on the controller and then just right click on all the drawers that you want to have connected. So now if I had, say, some gold on me as well as some coal, right? All I'd have to do is right click on the controller and it inputs all of the items that are in the drawer. Now, all we need to do is connect our lodestone core, the CPU, the computer, up to the functional storage, and it will go ahead and function. So in order to do that, we need to do 2 things. First, we need to go ahead and from refined storage, we need to make cables. So it is this right here, which isn't too bad. And then we need to go ahead and craft external storage. So this right here is going to go ahead and connect the RS system up to a external storage system. All right, so we should be able to craft these, I think. The only thing we're missing is a construction and destruction. Go ahead and make those real quick. And now we should just need some cables. Let me just make 12. That'll be enough for what we need. And now I can make the external storage. Put those down there. And all we have to do is link these up. Now, we could just connect a pipe here and put the external storage there, and that'll be done. It works, but I mean, that doesn't entirely look the best. And something else you can do is you don't have to hook the cable up to the processor. You could hook it to the console or over to the disk drive. So any component within your RS system you can connect pipes to, and as long as they are all touching, it still counts as your entire computer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and break these because I don't want to have it in plain sight, right? I want to hide it. So we're gonna come back here, and this is actually where I've been farming up some mushrooms. We'll go ahead and figure out a new place for that. But if I put the external storage on the side, come over here and put down cables in the back, then it'll be kind of in the wall and I won't see it. Now, currently, I can see it, right? We can see it quite obviously. But within refined storage, if you just get a iron nugget, you can combine an iron nugget with any block and you are going to get covers. And with that cover, all you need to do is click on the pipe and it puts a little cover over top of it so that we don't see it from this angle, but it's just attached right there. So if I go ahead and put 2 of these, you would never know that there's a pipe. You would think that that is a block. But if we look at JEI, it's a cable. Or look at the jade at the top, it's a cable. Now, we can look in here and look at that. We can see our nuggets. Now, there's one important thing, very important thing that we need to do before we can just call this done, and that's clicking on this external storage. We need to assign a priority. So the way that priorities work is whenever you are inserting any item or extracting any item, it'll go ahead and look in the storage devices that have the highest priority first. If it finds it, it'll pull it out or put it in, and then it won't even look at the others. Now, we want to make sure that when we put our ores or anything attached to this system into our refined storage, we want those to go into the drawers and not into our drive. Because as you see, we have 10,000 lumps of coal, 10,000 or 8,000 nuggets. These are going to fill up that drive very quickly, and we don't want it to, right? So what we do is over here, we make sure that this has a priority that is much higher. I'm just going to go with 100, much higher than the priority of the storage disk. Now, as a safety precaution, it's generally nice if you put your storage disk as a negative number so that in case you ever connect something and forget to set the priority on the connected device, by default, 0 will always be higher than the negative value that's in your disk drive. So now if I go ahead and say take out gold, you can see right now we have 32 gold in here. If I put the gold in, now it goes up to 96. It's really awesome how everything kind of comes together and every item in our storage will be accessible from this one storage interface. And what makes this really nice is that if I need a resource, right, I know exactly where it is because I come in here and it's going to be accessible from this menu. I don't have to remember, is it this barrel, this barrel, this barrel? Is it in a chest over here? Is it a drawer over there? Right? Everything is accessible in one system, which makes it super nice. And if I ever need to craft anything, I don't have to take the items out manually, go over to the crafting table. I can just come in here directly, say, I want to make lanterns, right? I would use the example I made a minute ago. And all I need to do is hit the plus button and I can craft it. And as long as we have the items in our storage, we can craft not just one, but as many as we want. So it makes it super easy and super convenient to just do all of the crafting from here. So at this point, I can go ahead and take all of these items, put them into our RS system now, and do the rest of the crafting over here. So let's go ahead and put these all in here. And I should have enough resources crafted up now to make another 64,000 storage disk. Okay, so now all we need to do in here is if we go ahead and do a search for refined, actually, we can just go to our tab, see all of the items we have from refined, and we just need to come over here and start crafting. So we wanted, I believe it was 27 of these. So this is the 1K. 24, 27. The 27 are going to turn into the 4Ks. We should have 9 of these. You can just put those up there, shift click, and we get all 9. Craft the 16Ks. And then craft one of the 64K. And as you see, because we have all of our items in this one system, it took me no time at all to craft all of those super quickly. And I can just come up here and put another 64K so that once our first hard drive fills up, we have another hard drive. And as you see, we have 6 more slots here. So we can increase our storage from just 64K to whatever 64K times 8 is. So to 512? Is it 512? Oh yeah, so up to 512,000 blocks we can put in here. And technically that's not the limit, because we can go ahead and put more of these disk drives and have even higher amounts. So this should easily be able to hold whatever we need for the rest of our playthrough, which is fantastic. Now, at the moment, if we look at our iron supply, our iron is running very, very low, and I don't have enough to make any more of these at the moment, but we're going to fix that probably next episode, where I'm going to show you guys how to get insane amounts of ores. Absolutely insane. I'm excited to be able to do it, and it should be really cool. But for now, we're limited to just 2 of these, which honestly is going to be plenty for a while. All right, so next up, we don't always want to have to come down to our storage system, our basement, in order to do crafting, right? I want to be able to do crafting wherever I am. If we're out, over building by our mob farm, doing something over there, wherever we are, I want to be able to access our storage system. And Refined Storage has a method in which you can do that by having a wireless terminal. So if we go ahead, pull up the menu here, search Refined, there are going to be 2 things that we need to look for. And first off, it's going to be the console here. And then we can take that console and make a crafting console. So this is the one that we ultimately want. In order to do that, first, we need one of these. And we basically just need to get a new console. We have everything else already available to us. So we need to get another construction, deconstruction, and then a casing. So there's a casing. Click on this. And this is just so much simpler to do all of this crafting right here. Oh, I love Refined Storage. It's amazing. There's our console. We can take it, make it into a handheld console. And then from there, we can turn it into a crafting grid here. So now, currently no network found. Shift right click it, I believe. Perfect. But now as we right click it, it tells us that there's no beacon within range. And if we open up the quest, we can see exactly why. That was just one of the parts. We need to make a beacon, which is the wireless transmitter, and then a range upgrade. So let's come back in here. We need to make the wireless transmitter, which we need another chassis. There's our transmitter. We can take this, and I was going to put it right on top. Can I put it on the side? I can put it on the side for now. It's not the most aesthetic, but we'll get around to finding a better solution for that. And as you see, I can take this, come over here, right click in the air, and I have access to our entire storage system. Now, if we right click on the beacon, you can tell that it only has access to 16 blocks. So if I were to be outside, I could probably access it right here, but as soon as I go a little bit further, say over to here, I can no longer access it, and it tells us that there's no beacon within range. So we can increase that by putting some range upgrades. So if we go ahead, come to the quest, you can even see we have to make a range upgrade. And let's see. So what does that take? We need to have a upgrade base. And then we can take the upgrade base and make a range upgrade right here. Success. And all we have to do is put the range upgrade on here. So now it goes up to 24. Let's go ahead and claim this quest. We get a divine processor core. And yes, 24 is going to be better than, what is it, 16? But 24 still isn't ideal. Even if we put in 3 more, that'll be an extra 8. So 32, 40, 48 blocks. 48 blocks still isn't that great. But there is, again, if we look at the quest, a infinite range booster. And the infinite range booster needs 4 range upgrades surrounded by a nether star. And then you'll be able to access your RS system no matter where you are in this dimension and any other dimension. It is amazing. Now, in order to make that, we do need a wither or a nether star. In order to get a nether star, as you guys are probably familiar, you need to kill the wither, and I think I want to do that. But my question is, do I have the pearls? I only have 4 pearls left, which is not much. So I'm curious. Enderman, do we have, there is a mob gateway for this. I need 5 pearls. Are you serious? And we only have 4. Now, I know, yes, okay, you can convert those into normal. So as you guys are familiar, we have a couple extra nether pearls. So I'm thinking we'll just grab a couple of those. No, really, I only need 1. Let's just do 1. Let's grab our other pearls. Oh, that'll actually give us 4. That's amazing. Let's go ahead and do one of these Enderman gateways and get a bunch of pearls. So we're gonna go ahead, let's sleep first. And then head over to the same spot we did a minute ago with the slimes and kill a bunch of Endermen. I'm pretty confident, like, we are pretty strong. We have a lot of hearts, we have a lot of armor. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have no problem. But I'm also curious, when we start this, will the Endermen be angry at us? Or not? I'm hoping not. Look at that. Plenty of ender pearls now. Love it. All right, let's eat. Go back home. And now we have plenty of ender pearls to make the other range upgrades. So at refined. Oh, and then also one other thing. When you do have your storage system set up, there is one of these options over here for the search box mode. And by default, it's normal. But I would personally recommend it, and it's entirely up to you. to change it to JAI synchronized or JAI synchronized two-way. And what this will do is anytime you're up here in the search and you search, say, at refined, notice how everything over here in JAI searches for you. If I were to be typing over here, I can clear this and it clears it over in the console. So now if I search, you know, at refined upgrade, it searches it over here as well, which is really, really nice. All right, so let's make 3 of those range upgrades. Come back over here to the range and 3 range upgrades. So now I can access this from 48 blocks. But really our entire purpose is to get 4 of those and surrounded by a nether star. So I already have some soul sand and some wither skelly skulls ready to go. And I'm thinking we're just going to go down into our mining hole directly below us. Summon him down in like the deep slate area and just murder him. Just murder him down there. Really hope that we don't pop through into a cave, because the wither going loose is not fun at all. Like no. Okay. So I'm thinking like right here. So if we go ahead, we need to have like a 3x3 area. That should be good enough. Perfect. And then put these guys right on top. Take a deep breath. And here we go. All right, fingers crossed this goes well. Let him explode and then we're gonna run in and just murder him. There we go. Here, can he come to us? He needs to come down. Why is he not coming down? There we go. Perfect. And now we can just back up. I didn't want him going up, which is what he was doing. There we go. Oh, we got the wither eye as well. And the nether star. Okay, out of curiosity, what are the wither stars used for in this pack? Large enderman gate, large blaze, the everlasting upgrade. Oh, you can make one of those. Okay. Large gas. So a lot of the large pearls, you're going to need them. This is what we want it for, is the infinite range booster. Oh, we're going to need one for the Archmage spellbook. So we're going to be doing Ars Nouveau next episode. And we are going to want this, but in order to get that, we also need the Wilden Tribute, and we're not ready for that yet. So we'll probably do another Wither in another couple episodes in order to make the final spellbook. Now the tarot deck, we're definitely going to need this, but again, we need the Justice first. So we're just going to end up waiting on that. And then more gateways. The Nether Star hook from Aquatica. Okay. The beacon. Transmutation table from Alex's mobs. Interesting. I'm kind of curious what that is. Okay. Well, let's put down some torches so we don't get mob spawning in here. Yeah, he was starting to go up and that kind of scared me a little bit. But perfect. Let's do /home. Come over here, put our nether eye in there. And then now that we have the star, let's go ahead and craft this up. So usages, craft the infinite range booster, put that in, and now it'll go to the max number, right? So this means if I were to go RTP, let's see how far we go. We're going to go thousands and thousands of thousands of blocks out. So we're what? 4,000, 3,000 blocks out. I can open up my terminal and access everything from my storage. So now I can just throw everything in here and say, for instance, I'm out exploring, I'm doing things, and it's like, oh, look, my inventory is full. instead of putting it into a shulker, putting it into a coffer, I can just open up my storage and put it directly into my storage. How nice is that? Now we don't even need to have that much backtack space because of the fact we instantly have access to our entire storage network that can store hundreds of thousands of blocks. This is going to be a massive game changer for when we go exploring, whenever we have to do inventory management, because we don't have to do inventory management anymore. All we have to do is dump the items directly into our storage system, and we can access that anywhere in the entire world. All right, so I went ahead and did a little bit of work off camera, and if we come on over to our crop farm, I've put in some drawers over here. So all of the crops that we have are automatically going into the drawers, and these are compacting drawers that'll automatically compact them into the crate type. So the potato crates, for instance. Now, in addition, I have a couple miscellaneous ones off to the side that just hold all of the other random things that we're going to be getting. But I went ahead and took out our barrel for our storage here in the middle, and then also the coffer. Now, what we have now is we have one crow that is automatically going around and breaking everything. And as you might have just seen, when he broke that, the item instantly got picked up. And we're no longer using our two crows over here to gather. They're just chilling. Instead, we have two barrels underground that are automatically picking everything up with a magnet upgrade. So let's go ahead and go down below and check that out real quick. All right, and then as we come down, you'll probably see we have made a couple rearrangements. We've went ahead and taken our RS system and put it back into the wall, recessed it a little bit. And then to add some more symmetry and to hold more of the bulk storage, we added a few more drawers off to the side, some compacting and some just bulk storage. So I think this looks a heck of a lot better. I like it that it's kind of like seamless into the wall and it's not sticking out kind of like a sore thumb that it was before. But let's go ahead, pop back in behind here. Let me close that trap door. And you can see the two barrels that I was talking about above, where these two barrels have a magnet upgrade. And this magnet upgrade, I did a little bit of testing, and it can pick up any item 5 blocks away in all directions. So this one is picking up, you know, a 5x5 over here. Really, it's an 11x11. And then this one's picking up an 11x11 as well. And all of the items that come off from the crops automatically come into here. Now our goal is to then have all of these automatically put into our system so they're accessible in the drawers above. So if I go ahead and open up the console right here, we can go ahead and see that we have all of our potatoes, our wheat, all of the stuff from the crops are now in here because I've connected those drawers up to the controller right there. And the controller is linked to the external storage, just like we had before. I've just now linked more things to this. So in order to get all of the items from these barrels imported into our RS system, what we're going to do is we're going to use importers. And then we need some cabling as well. So let's go ahead and just put an importer on the bottom there. An importer on the bottom there. And what this is going to do is once we connect it into our RS system, anything that is in this barrel is going to be imported into our RS system. All right, so we just need to run this cable over, connect it up, and if we come over here and start looking, let's look at this one for instance, you'll see the items are automatically being drained out. Look at this one, same thing, it's automatically being drained out. And if we were to look at, say, cabbage seeds right now, and look at it, you can see that number 3039, 40, 42, it's going up because everything is being imported into our system from this barrel. So now our mob farm or our crop farm is 100% automated, where the crow is harvesting the crops, the barrels are picking all the items up, and then those items are being sent into our RS system, which we have access to anywhere in the entire world, which is fantastic. Okay, so we also have another storage system, as I mentioned earlier, which is our over at our mob farm. And if we go ahead and open up our console right now, we can look for like bones, and we don't have any bones because those are all stored in a separate system. So all we would really need to do, and I don't think I have enough cable, is go ahead and connect this up. So let's go ahead, put down some cable. And yeah, we have run out. Now, normally we'd have to run back over to our base, do some storage and, you know, craft what we need. But because we have this wireless terminal, we can make cable anywhere in the world, which is fantastic. So we need some more redstone glass, craft a couple of that up, and then just get the last bit of cable that we need. So there's 60, that'll be plenty. And just keep on going. And look how amazing that is, that we don't have to go back. We don't have to get distracted. We can just focus on what we're doing. And it's, yeah. I don't know about you guys. I squirrel a lot. So just being able to do that is absolutely amazing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this down. And just like we did before, we're going to go ahead and put a external storage on this storage controller, which means all of the items in these drawers here will be linked up and we'll have access to. So a minute ago, I just searched and we didn't find any bones. But as soon as we connect this, let's also make sure we set a priority. And for this, let's do a priority of 90. Okay. And now, if we open up our console here, do a search for bones again, there's our 15,000 bones. So now any item that's over here in this storage system is now going to be automatically linked up and in our main RS system. Amazing. Again, just like everything's kind of coming together and just working nicely, right? And that's the big thing about digital storage, is that you don't, like, after you have it set up, you don't have to think about it. Everything just is there. And if it's set up properly, it's just there, right? You don't have to worry about where your things are stored. As long as there's enough storage, you can just go about your day, no problem. All right, now down here, I don't want to see the cable. And as we kind of talked about earlier, if we go ahead and take a iron nugget, and we just need to make a couple cables here, just like that. Bam, bam. Now you don't see it at all, and you would never know. You don't even see it over here. It's fantastic. Okay, so we have our mob farm, we have our crop farm now hooked up. All right, and then if we go ahead and we come back down, there's really only two other things that I want to kind of touch over real quick. First is that you can take some dye, click on your crafting console, and it'll change the color of it. I think you can also do it, yep, to the lodestone core if you wanted to change the color of that. And then, you know, we don't want to have this crafting console in our inventory forever. We don't want to have to keep going to it and clicking on it. So instead, you can open up your inventory, open your curios, and this can go into any curio slot, which means you can put it in your spell focus, you can put it in your bangle, your body, anything. I'm going to put it in my bangle right now because I don't even know what can go into the bangle. So we'll reevaluate if that becomes an issue in the future and just move it somewhere else. Now you can go into your controls, go into our controls, our keybinds, and do a search for crafting and open the crafting console right here. That's what you're going to want to keybind so that you can go ahead and open it up without actually having it on your hotbar, without clicking on it. You can open it up anywhere. And it's just amazing. All right. Well, I think that is going to wrap up everything for this episode. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any additional questions about RS or any of these systems, make sure to put them in the comments. If you liked the video, click the like button and make sure you subscribe to get notified for our next video. All right. Bye, guys. See ya.